Dear ladies and gents, we welcome you again at the American Center in Moscow. Here is the very amazing evening would be, about English comedy, and if you love to laughing, out loud, it's evening is for you. So we are kindly welcome here our amazing partners. These guys will represent you here awesome things, this cool jokes. Please welcome English Moscow Comedy.
Hello everyone, how are you guys doing? You're not really doing, okay. I know it's after work and I know it's Friday evening, but I expected a bit more enthusiasm from you guys. Can we just get like a clap and a cheer when I ask you a question? How are you guys doing? There we go, you see? Very responsive, not very active, but whatever I ask you'll do, I like it. We are called English Moscow Comedy, as it says here, because we don't really know grammar, and we don't really know the order of adjectives, so that's how we created our name. Basically, and what we do is we do various types of comedy in Moscow, in English, and we have a team of international comedians. Some of them you will see here tonight. Tonight we will do stand-up. Who's been to stand-up before? Oh, like it's cool, I love it. No noise, no nothing, just... And then if the person next to you didn't raise their hand, then, ooh, no. Okay, one more time. Who's been to stand-up before?
On TV.
On TV. You've been to stand-up on TV or you've watched it on TV?
Near TV.
Near TV. You were near TV and stand-up was on TV. Oh, I see. How was it?
Fine.
Fine. Not even on TV and still fine. Well, tonight is going to be shit then. I don't know what to tell you. Because on TV it should be excellent, right? What kind of stand-up? Was it Russian or American or British or whatever?
Russian.
Russian. Fine. All right. Has anyone been to English stand-up? Stand-up in English. Two people in the back. Thanks for coming and staying so far away. Who did you see?
Ricky Gervais.
Ricky Gervais. Yeah, no, we're not that good. Don't expect anything similar. We do try though. We've been doing this for the last approximately 3 years here in Moscow. And recently, like 2 weeks ago, we had a really big show in Dom Kino. Has anyone been to our big show, maybe? You've been? The only one. All right. Doesn't matter. We'll give you a little preview of that show here today, so you didn't really miss out on anything. I have to introduce myself. My name is Igor. I'm from Croatia. Do you guys know Croatia? You heard. Near TV. No? Do you know anything about Croatia? The capital? All right. How do you know that? Okay, cities, okay. And where did you learn this from?
Serbian, but you speak Croatian, which is the same thing.
Yeah, I love you don't speak Serbian, but you speak Croatian. It's like asking someone, where are you from? Spain. You don't speak Portuguese. Yes, they're from Spain. And I don't speak Serbian. I do speak Serbian, actually, but we do speak Croatian. We have many cities. Anything else we know about Croatia? No. Recently, yes, 3 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, joined European Union, exactly. Well, it doesn't really matter if you don't know a lot of things about Croatia, because there's really not much to know. To put things in perspective, I will tell you what was the biggest news in all the news, media outlets this week, like newspapers, on TV, it was everywhere. This is the biggest news right now, up until today. Today there was some other news, but for the past week, it was this. So there is a lot of storks in Croatia. I haven't seen a lot of storks in Moscow. I don't know, do you have storks here? Do you have storks here? No? Why? Too cold for them? I presume. You know what storks are, right? Like the big birds that bring you babies. They're all in Ukraine. I don't think flying above Ukraine is safe right now, so I don't think storks are in Ukraine. So we have a lot of storks, but there is a special pair of storks that people gave names to and they're like followed by a lot of people every year because they're the first couple to come back from the south every year. They're the first couple to fly in, and they're like the sign of spring. So they come to this small town, and it's big news for this small town. Something like Groundhog Day in America, if you know, like when they try to guess will there be more winter and stuff. So it's like when this couple comes back from the south, that means spring is here. And for the last, I think, 7 years, if I'm not mistaken, they've been coming, like leaving and coming together. This like boy stork and a girl stork. Not this year. This year, he was late. I don't know where he was, just doing his own business, doesn't matter. But she found another male stork. And in this short period of time, had eggs with this male stork. And when her husband stork came back and saw this, he was very angry. He was like, 7 years, come on. Does it mean nothing to you? So he just destroyed the nest, destroyed the eggs, and kicked out the other male stork. And that's the biggest news in Croatia. I'm not even, if you Google that, you'll find that. That's the thing happening right now. It's blowing up in all the media. So this is the level of entertainment we have in my country. Who do we have here? We have Russians, right? Russians, make some noise. Do we have some, I want to say Americans? One. This American Center is doing a great job. You attract all the Americans. One. Who else do we have? Do we have some other foreigners from other countries? Where are you guys from?
Armenia.
You are Tunisia. Or you are from Tunisia. I don't think you are. Or are you just an expression of the country, materialized? All right. And you are from?
Latvia.
Latvia. Oh, it's like we're countrymen. Our countries are insignificant enough to be similar. What, do you have storks? Read about that news. It's going to interest you. Anyone else?
Siberia.
That's not a foreign country. Siberia. I see you're very proud of the fact, but it's still part of the same country. I mean, yeah, we can all shut out parts of Russian Federation, who's from where, but all right. So we have one American, two Americans. It's like you guys multiplied. This is amazing. It's 50% more than we had a minute ago. So let's wait 5 more minutes. Maybe we'll have 4. Okay, we have 2 Americans now. We have a bunch of Russians. One Siberian. Not Russian, the Siberian. Tunisian and Latvian. Lithuanian, Latvian. Oh, did I just offend you? Not on purpose. All right. I wanted to say mixed audience, not really predominantly Russian, but it's fine. To me, when I moved here, which was like 5 years ago, Russia was very surprising. Because, I mean, I come from a Slavic country and from like kind of socialist by history country and so on. So it wasn't like that different in some ways, but then in the other way, thank you, it was very different. And some things that I've realized and noticed when I just moved here, I will never forget, like some kind of cultural shocks. So let's just do a little test of all 4 foreigners we have, and just ask them, what was the biggest cultural shock you've had, sir? What's your name?
The name or the cultural?
First the name, and then we'll continue with the questioning.
Okay, let's start with Tom.
Tom, nice to meet you. And what was the biggest cultural shock you experienced in
So
Russia?
many friendly people that I didn't expect.
So many friendly people. Where? In Russia. Where? In Moscow. All right, don't go to Siberia. I'm kidding, they're all nice people. Actually, I agree with you. I had this stereotype as well about like cold and kind of like, I don't know, distant Russians, but actually they're pretty friendly, especially when you get to know them. Not being strangers on the street, but like if you're a friend, you're definitely a friend. You're a friend for life. All right, Tunisia. Can we get a name also not to call you Tunisia? Yeah, let's call you Tunisia, it's fine. What was it? Shuru. Does it have a meaning?
Yeah, sunrise. No.
Sunrise. Okay, sunrise. What was the biggest cultural shock you've had?
I can say people are friendly.
Why is that a shock? It's like, oh, stop being friendly. Why are you shocked by this?
At first that they weren't friendly.
Oh, they weren't friendly.
Not in Moscow.
What did they do to you?
In Moscow.
Where did you go? In Moscow they were friendly, but at first, when I went to Himki, they were terrible. Where did you go before Moscow?
Temple.
I don't even know what's that. So.
South.
All right, so people in the south are not friendly. No,
Not Temple, but still south. No.
They're nice, you see? They're nice everywhere. Siberia, nice. South, nice. Moscow, nice. Himki, don't go. All right. People were not nice to you. What about you?
Well, I can just agree with that people are nice and surprised.
I mean, all right. I know we're in the American Center and there are cameras and stuff, but you don't have to. Everyone is so nice. It's just amazing. I love it. You can tell me. All right, the American lady. What's her name?
Natalie,
Natalie. What was the biggest cultural shock you experienced?
actually, Moscow.
People are so nice.
Yeah, people of course nice, but I was familiar with Moscow because I left Moscow 4 years ago. And
All right.
Come back, and it wasn't so, but I was so happy to see all new things in Moscow.
Okay, just development of Moscow.
Development.
All right, all right. Yeah, I think even in the last 2-3 years, it's really developed. It's really, I don't know, blossomed. Moscow as a city. For me, like a lot of things were, as I said, strange and confusing. Most of them I got used to. Some of them I'm still not very kind of, I don't know, clear on. So, for example, I understand now, after 5 years of living here, I understand why when I go to a school or a clinic or something, I need to wear like a little plastic bag on my shoes. I understand, Moscow is dirty, chemicals, mud, everything, fine, okay. I also understand why, if I go to a place like a theater or anywhere, and I want to leave my jacket, but my jacket doesn't have the little thingy to hang it, the woman doesn't want to take it, and then she yells at me for not having the little thingy, even though when I bought the jacket, it didn't have the little thingy. So what should I do? Should I just like throw away that jacket or like just leave it on the floor? But I get it. She gets paid minimum wage to take that jacket and hang it on the little thingy. If it doesn't have the little thingy, she will not take it. I understand, I wouldn't do it either, it's fine. I also understand why, if I go to a supermarket and I buy something, right after I pay for it, the cashier takes the check and tears it apart. Of course, so I wouldn't use it again, right? That's what you do with checks from supermarkets. I understand. What I don't understand to this day, after 5 years living in Moscow, is why I cannot throw the toilet paper in the toilet. It's made for it's called toilet paper. Why? Russians. No, this is a question. This is not even, the show starts later. I'm just here to learn. Why?
Depends on the toilet.
It depends on the, if you have a SPX 1000, then it can. Well, it depends on the toilet. Please, enlighten us. What kind of toilet cannot take paper? The biggest one cannot take paper, or can take paper, I suppose. It's just paper. I mean, it dissolves in water. It's magnificent. Another thing.
Tell us about the story.
Which story?
You said it's like a thing and then tell the story.
There will be no stories today, just sad experiences of foreigners. If you came for stories, I don't know, like I can read you a book later, I don't know. Here's a story.
Thanks.
You're welcome. It's what I do. I make people happy. When I just moved here, I had this actually like, just traveling around and living in Croatia, I had this habit that if I see a beggar or someone asking for money, I give them money. Who gives money to beggars? Liars. And now more and more people, when they see other people, yeah, me too. I literally, like, on the last show, like a week ago or something, I asked the audience, who gives money to beggars? And there was, no one raised their hand, and then one girl was like, me. And I was like, you give money to beggars? She's like, yes. And I said, how much? And she was like, and I could see like her processing, like trying to make up the information, because obviously she doesn't. And she goes, 5. And I'm like, 5? 5 what? The only 5 you're giving beggars is high 5, because otherwise you're making it up. People who do give money to beggars, why do you do it? Or people, actually better question, people who don't give money to beggars, why don't you give money to beggars? You don't trust them. Yeah, those ninja beggars. Why don't you trust them? What could they possibly do?
They're professionals.
They're professionals. Yeah, they're professional beggars. Yeah, I know. I've seen the adverts on Headhunter. Join the beggar community. Yeah, I would usually give, if I had some coins and I would see someone begging, I would give them the money until when I moved to Moscow, and maybe second or third week, I was walking with my Russian friend, and near the metro station where I lived, there are usually some of them. And at this day, there was like an old lady. It was winter, she was on her knees, kind of freezing, shaking, her hand was up. So we were walking towards her, and I was checking for some coins. And at the moment that I wanted to give her the coins, my Russian friend goes, "No, stop!" I'm like, "What?" He's like, "No, don't do it." I'm like, "Why not?" He's like, "This is mafia." I'm like, "What?" He goes, "This is mafia." I go, "Really?" Because I've seen the movies, I've read the news, Russian mafia. Is this the problem with crime you have? No more mafia. What do you mean this is mafia? He goes, no, wait, it's business, right? It's like they collect money on the lower levels, then they give it to like their managers, their superiors, then they give it up and up and up, and it goes to the heads of Russian mafia. And I go, great, actually, great. I love it. Because Russian mafia, right? They're not like, like drug selling and human trafficking and guns and so on. No. They're like public funding, right? As much as we can get. This is how it operates. I think like in 10 years, Russian mafia will have like a big secret mafia I don't know what they do. Big secret mafia project. And they'll be sitting around one table like all the big heads of mafia from Siberia, from the south, from Moscow, and they'll be sitting at one table and they'll be like, we need more money. What do we do? And just one guy, that mafia sorry? Franchise, yeah. To neighboring countries, probably. Sell them the license. To Italy. I'm kidding, Italian mafia already franchised everything. No, they'll be like around one table, like, what can we do, how can we get money? And then one young mafia intern will be like, I have an idea. Have you heard of Kickstarter? Just put a project up there. So to this day, I don't believe I believe, okay, maybe some of them are mafia. I don't think every old granny dying on the street is mafia. But if you want to leave these people hungry and cold, it's up to you. I'm not changing it. The one person that is definitely not hungry and cold is our first comedian for the evening, all the way from Italy. Do you know anything about Italy? You don't know much about Croatia. You should know more about Italy, because it's actually interesting. What do you know about Italy? Mafia. I didn't do the joke by accident. It was prepared. Anything else? Pasta pizza. He's gonna love you. You're his favorite person now. After you, of course, with mafia. I think stereotyping a country like this, mafia, pasta, pizza. Anything else? Renaissance? All right. I have no idea what you're saying. You could be literally saying carbonara, cappuccino. I do not know, so yeah. Sorry? Of course. Tortellini. Beauty. Everything you've said so far is true about our next comedian except beauty. I'm kidding, he's very cute. Please welcome, all the way from north of Italy, Cristiano Righi.
Hello, thank you. So, I'm pretty, I'm not pretty, handsome. What are you talking about? I'm Italian, we are just automatically cool, you know, just being Italian. No, don't you think? No. No, don't agree. You're Russians, right? So you love Italians, I think. Yeah, true, yeah. Well, so you love pizza and pasta and mafia also, no? So my name is Cristiano and I'm from Italy and I'm very sorry because I'm Italian and you're not. And you will never be. I'm sorry to give you this, tell you today, you will never be Italians and you will never be Italians here in Moscow, which is just so, I like this Russian word, kaif. I don't have to do anything. I'm like this stupid superhero, Superman. You know, just he takes his glasses off and he's a superhero. That's the same for me. I don't even have to take my glasses off. I have to say, I'm Italian. Oh, правда? Вы живой итальянец? Наконец-то я живой. Can't you see that? Живой итальянец. One babushka, she was touching me. Can I touch you? Yes. Живой. No, but it's nice, it's true. I found this out here, you know, I didn't know anything. I've been in Moscow for 11 years, you know, in June, 11 years, you know, and честно, I am masochist. 100% masochist to be here for 11 years. Who's been here for 11 years, apart from Russians, I suppose? Or maybe I've been here more than Russians. No. Is there anybody who's been living here for more than 11 years? Yeah. No, you see, that's in Italian. So that's fine, but I found this crazy thing that you love us more than Italians. You love Italians more than Italians, it's crazy. Like when I arrived here, it's like, oh wow. And it's crazy because I walk around, I'm Italian, oh, Italians. When I leave, the same thing. Are you coming back, Cristiano? Yes, of course I'm coming back. I hope I'm coming back soon. Oh, I also hope that you come back soon with some Parmesan, please. You know, after the sanctions, I've become a sort of culinarny contrabandist. I have only food for my friends. There is this beautiful Russian lady, Natasha. She's like, you know, like, you Russians are so hidri, you know, because I love your language because it can be like very harsh, like, ticho, Then it can be like, Kristianchik, Daragoy, Privietik. I'm waiting, I will be waiting for you. Please take some Parmesan with you for me. Okay, I will take some Parmesan. So I take all this Parmesan from Italy. Just, I don't have more Dolce Gabbana like I used to have before, just food, just Parmesan. And I'm tired, so I've got this idea that you've got in Russia this very beautiful city called Perm. Maybe you could do your national sir there in Perm, and we shall call it Nastoящий русский Permizan, okay? From Perm. It's like, fine, or we just change a letter. So it's Permizan, that's fine. That's origin Nastoящий русский Permizan. Because with this importazamещение, you just mix things up, you know? So, but I like it a lot here because especially people love me so much, but there are some things that I can't, I'm sorry, I can't forgive you. You know, I can't. Like, for example, cappuccino. Do you like cappuccino? Yes. When do you drink cappuccino? Every day, every time, every morning, every afternoon, the night with sushi, carbonara, and no, I don't know what to do when I see this. So I was with this girl in this coffee mania. You know coffee mania where a coffee costs like the Xiaomi iPhone. It's crazy. There's in Italy it's €1. There's 10 euros for a coffee. It's like I drink it in 65 minutes because it's no, I can't spend 10 euros for a coffee. So I was with this girl, and she says, Cristiano, what do you think? Shall I have a frappuccino? Frappuccino? You know, saying it to an Italian frappuccino is like talking about chisnock to a vampire. You're playing with fire. You know, frappuccino does not exist. Frappuccino is like. Frappuccino is a coffee like Kalabok is a boy. You know, Kalabok. I'm sorry, I have to tell you this after to tell you that that Kalabok is not a ribionat. Kalabok is just a head that rolls on the street. Like eating shit. I don't know how you can tell that thing to your children. I understand sometimes because I find crazy people in Russia, because you listen to Kolobok. That's the thing, you know, just Kolobok roaring around, leaking everything, and then he dies. Just, I don't understand the morality of that thing, you know, like, what's the story there? Just don't be bold and roll around the street. That's, I don't get it. So anyway, Frappuccino is not a coffee, I'm sorry. And then, spaghetti bolognese does not exist. You invented it. It's not Italian, you know? And macaroni pavlovsky, it's askarbleniev. I can't, you're just listening to the name, macaroni pavlovsky, you know? Once I'm a teacher, I teach Italian, I'm trying to take some civilization to this country. So while I was teaching, there was these girls, they were talking, and they were laughing at me. And they were saying, zrif, zrif. And I didn't understand this word. It's also very difficult, so many consonants. You know, we Italians have just vowels everywhere. There's one consonant. You have in a word 5 consonants and 1 vowel. Zrif. They said, what's this zrif thing? It's explosion. And what are you talking about during the class? You're talking about verbs and you're talking about explosion. No, u vas jest na galave explosion. Zrif na fabrike makaronov. Okay. It's not nice. But you know why I love my hair. Do you like my hair? You know, yes. You know, so you can say anything, but you don't have to touch macaroni. Macaroni is just, you know, you think the macaroni is just macaroni. You don't say that. It's just like saying God. You don't, you know, macaroni is just one kind of 104 different types of pasta that we have. So please, maybe I have fusilli or tagliatelle. Okay, that's fine, but not macaroni. Okay. So 11 years here, and I've seen so you know, I have this thing. You've got this Russian logic. That we have, I think I've got this theory. We have normal logic and then Russian logic. Okay, like I had this girlfriend, and she said, I live in Oktyabrskaya, and she said, Cristiano, you always go to Park Gorkova. There is another park, very nice. She was speaking English to me, very nice, close to here. It's called Not So Boring Garden. What the kind of name is this for a park? Not so boring. And I said, wow, thank you, because if you have a not so boring garden, you must have a boring garden. So she takes me to the not so boring garden. That's fine. She starts liking me. Then we got there, and it's Nieskuchny sad. Crazy, like Nieskuchny sad. How in Italy it's impossible. If there is a garden, it will be like La Fontana Bellissima delle foglie che esplodono nel cielo e le stelle. That's a name for a park. Nieskuchny sad. Like, you know, like this finger. What's the name of this finger? Besignani. What happened to the guy who invented the names of 5 fingers? Okay, 1, 2. I don't know. What? This is useless. It's just Besignani palace. Let's just forget about that. Then, you know, I remember when I was asking for the Russian national document, Spravka, and there was this babushka, and she said, familia, Rigi, imя, Cristiano, отчество. Отчего? Sorry, and you know, she did this that every Russian does when you think Russians that we are deaf. Just, you don't think that we are foreigners. Just like, отчество сказала! And it works. Я понял. I don't have отчество. I'm sorry. What happened to your отчество? Did you lose your отчество? No, I'm Italian, so I'm stupid. I don't know. We don't have отчество. We just don't. So, if you make the mistake to ask a Russian why, it's a risk. Because a Russian can say, потому. If you are lucky. Because if you're not lucky, they will ask you, they will say, потому что почему заканчивается на у. Wow, thank you very much. I got this, I don't know, what's that philosophy? This is crazy. Like, one of my students once was telling me, Cristiano, I'm sorry, I can't come to the class tomorrow. It was October. I said, why, Yulia? What happened? No, вы знаете, грибы пошли. What? Грибы пошли? Куда? And just I started imagining all this army of mushrooms walking to your dacha and like, oh no, let's pick us up. We are here in October, ready for you. And it's like, you're crazy about mushrooms. I don't know what's wrong with you. You've got this cheese called druzhba z gribami. So your cheese is a friend of mushrooms also. I don't know. You know, it's crazy. And a few weeks ago, I went to Rizan. And I told this friend of mine, I'm going to Rizan, I don't know why, I know it's crazy. And Italian in Rizan is crazier than I can see your face, it's crazy. I just wanted to go somewhere. And this guy said, yeah, Rizan, Vrizani gribi z glazami. What? Yeah. Ich jedят, what's? Они едят, yeah, you know that, of course. That's so, what the hell is that? What's so crazy? I mean, I'm seeing these poor mushrooms, like, no, don't eat us. Yes, I'm gonna eat you. What's wrong with you? It's crazy, I don't know, but it's fine, I'm getting used to this, you know. More the years passes and I say, okay, it's Russian logic, it's fine. I had already experimented this when I went to Spain. Before coming to Russia, I was living in Spain, and in Spain, my name, for example, my name in Italy is very common, it's Cristiano, it's fine, and in Spain it's funny. Because in Spanish, it's like in English, it means Christian. But in Spanish, they don't have this name. You know, they don't have this Cristiano in Spain. You know? So I was with this Spanish guy, and he said, we were talking, he was in Spanish, ¿Cómo quién eres? Who are you? In Spanish. And I said, yo soy Cristiano. And he understood, I am a Christian. And he said, I don't care. Well, why you don't care? You asked me. I am a Christian. I don't care about your religion. It's not a religion, it's a name. Like, my name. What? Your name is Christian? So funny. And I said, what's your name? Jesus. What? Jesus? Okay, so your name is Jesus. Yeah, not only my name. Half of Spain is called Jesus. So, 35 million Jesuses, and it's not funny. And one Christian, and it's funny? So you see, that's crazy, but this is logic, like, it's funny because I'm teaching, so every time I have these problems with languages. It's very interesting at the end of the day, because you have, like, you start thinking about yourself, you know, like, through mistakes, you start thinking about what you are. For example, I didn't know that everybody loves Italians in the whole world, like Japanese, Americans, Russians, and there is just one nation that hates Italians, and it's Italy. I didn't know that. You know how I found out? When I met an Italian here in Moscow, you know, I didn't see him, I heard him, you know, because in Italian you hear him like 2 minutes before, like you hear, then you see the hands, and then eventually you see the guy. You think that there were 10 of them and there was just one, talking to himself and doing this. But the crazy thing that I found out is that even if I hate Italians abroad, you know, I hate them. I hate myself also. When I go home, I spit on my face in the mirror. I hate Italians here. But the thing is that when I meet Italians here, it's just like magnetic attraction. We have to meet up. You know why? Because we have just one very important question to ask each other. Where are you from? Isn't that crazy? Like, this small country, you know, there are 55 Italies in Russia, you know, 55. I can place 55 Italies. And still, if I meet an Italian here, the first question is that it's not, what are you doing here, in the Red Square, now, what are you doing here, what's your name? No, where are you from? Because, you know why? He will start telling me, where is he from? Like from Parma, or from Venice, or from Naples, and I will start already think. I have already the story of this guy, you know, like mafia. He's from the south, of course. If he's from Naples all day long, if he's from Venice, he's driving a gondola, you know, it's like. So that's why I'm here in Russia, you know. The thing is, I found out that I'm here to understand more myself and my country. Thanks to you. Thank you very much. You've been great.
Cristiano, how did you like Chris? Good? Great? Okay, question time again. I guess for Russia I already know the answer. Like, what is the country that is like your little brother that you always joke about and tease, but actually you like each other? I think it's Belarus, right? You always make jokes about them, but actually you do have like friendly relations and stuff. What is it for Tunisia? What country? Which country is like your little brother that you always make some jokes about, but you actually like them? Libya? Alright. What is it for, who else do we have? What is it for America? Canada? I think Canada, yeah. What is it for Latvia? Estonia. Yeah, it's always a neighboring country that is like similar to yours, but then different enough that you have something to joke about and so on. For us, it's Slovenia. If you know anything about, no, you don't know anything about Slovenia. It's like a small country right next to Croatia. Small country. My country is a small country. It's a smaller country right next to Croatia, and we like to tease each other and joke about stuff and so on. Sometimes in a good way, sometimes in a bad way. I remember last year we did a show in Ljubljana, which is the capital of Slovenia, and I walked out on the stage and I said, "Hello, my name is Igor and I'm from Croatia." And the whole room, like 100 people, went, "Ah." And I was thinking, what's with the reaction? Because usually when I go out, people cheer or clap or something, and they just went, "Ah." And I'm like, what's with the reaction? It's not like I said, "My name is Igor and I have cancer." And one guy from the audience goes, "Yeah, because cancer can be cured." The disrespect. I have a joke where I talk about how is it to live in such a huge country as Russia, being from such a small country as Croatia. And while I was doing this joke in Slovenia, all of their faces were like, "What is he talking about?" Like, and I'm like, "Did you guys not get the joke?" And they're just looking at me, and one guy goes, "You are from a big country." I'm like, "Yeah, compared to Slovenia, anything is big." But the thing is, like, I actually, I didn't introduce myself in the beginning. I just introduced myself just as Igor. My full name, or at least my full name when I'm performing, is Igor Monday. Now, if you know anything about Croatia, that's not the Croatian name, right? Igor Monday, because Monday is obviously just a word. It's a stage name, because my real name, my real last name, is really hard to pronounce, sometimes for me, especially for Russians and foreigners abroad when we go and perform. So I decided I need like a stage name. I need something that is simpler. And I didn't know what to take or how to choose, so I let the audience choose it. And I would ask on various shows, do you guys have some ideas? Do you guys have some suggestions on what can I call myself? And one show I said, "Okay guys, throw me some ideas." And one girl just went, "Igor Monday." And at that point, like, it just, like, I don't know, stuck with me. I was like, Monday, yeah, that's a word everyone knows. It's simple to, like, remember, to pronounce, to write. It sounds like a celebrity name, right? Igor Monday, like, but wait a second, why Monday? And the same woman goes, "Because everybody hates Mondays." I kept it anyways, because I'm proud of that, actually. The problem I have here is my first name, because my first name is Igor, and when I introduce myself to Russians, they always say it's a Russian name, which it's not, because, no, it's not. It's Nordic name, first of all. Second of all, I have a friend from Brazil, from Spain, from France, and so on that are called Igor. It's like everywhere. But for Russians, it's a Russian name, right? So like when I meet someone, and I usually talk, like when I meet someone, I start speaking English, obviously because I work in English, my friends speak English, and we perform in English. So I start chatting to someone after a show, for example, and we chat for a few minutes, and they ask me, "What is your name?" And I say, "Igor," and then they say, "Why are you speaking Russian? Why are you speaking English? You're Russian." And I'm like, "No, I'm not." And immediately their face changes and goes, "But you have a Russian name." And I go, yeah. And go, "Where did you get the name?" My mom gave it to me. "Oh, is your mom Russian? Give us back the name." And when I meet someone, when I introduce myself, it's always like this. So I say my name, and if it's a Russian person, immediately they want to change to Russin, because they're like, "Why are you speaking English? You're also Russian." And this is how it goes. So maybe a month ago, I also met this guy after the show. We started talking, and after like 2-3 minutes, he says, "Sorry, I didn't catch your name." And I say, "My name is Igor." And he says, "Oh, you're Russian, we can speak Russian." I go, No, actually I'm not. You see, I'm Croatian, I don't speak Russian that well, and so on. He goes, okay, no, not a problem then. And I say, "Well, are you Russian?" He goes, yeah, I'm Russian." "What's your name?" Hassan. And I'm like, really, Hassan? Did you move here last summer, maybe? In the great migration of Hassans. The next guy has a very unusual name for Russia, not unusual for where he's from, apparently. I think there are billions of people with the same name, actually. Two famous actors, because I googled him once and that's how I know. Please welcome on stage, like not in a bad way, I just googled him. Please welcome on this improvised stage, all the way from Teplistan, Arun Harana!
Thank you, Igor. Thank you. Yes, I'm from Teplistan. It's great. It's a lot of fun. Anyone else lives near Teplistan? Ah, соседи. Fantastic. It's the best, right? Rынок, you know, foreign people. It's incredible. I feel right at home. Too many people there. Hi guys, how's everybody doing? How you liking the show so far? It's fun. It's great, right? So far. Excellent. I've been in Moscow for a long time, about 24 years now, and I don't know what's been going on this last week, but have you seen what's been happening with the weather outside?
It's cold.
It is cold, right? Or it is cold, not so cold. Not so cold? I think we have a little debate over here. But you guys talk it out a little bit, come back in 5 to 7 minutes so I know what's really going on. No, it's crazy, it was crazy. You guys remember on Tuesday it was like plus 16, sunny weather, and everywhere all I could see was people wearing summer clothes, spring clothes and stuff. You know, people wearing sunglasses, taking pictures for Instagram. Yeah, and captions like, spring is finally here! Yay! Hot weather, sunshine! I swear the weather was looking at them like, hold my beer. Hold my beer. Seriously, it's crazy. I was outside the very next day on Wednesday actually, and it was the weirdest weather ever. It started off with a little bit of rain, then it became sunny for about 3.5 seconds. I swear to God, I saw that the sunlight was coming out. I was like, finally, I can wear my new sunglasses. I got these nice aviators. I was like, I'm gonna put my aviators on. I swear to God, by the time I took my sunglasses on and put them on, it started hailing. It was literally pouring. And I'm looking up like, why, God, why? And God's like, that's why. Seriously, I complain a lot about Moscow, but I really love Moscow. I love Moscow more than my country, which is India, actually. I'm from India. But despite everything bad that I say about India, at least India is consistent. You know what you're getting in India. Hot weather, malaria, and probably robbed. Definitely. I'm a big fan of spy movies. And I recently found out that Idris Elba, who's a black British actor, might be the next James Bond. Anyone hear that? James Bond? Everyone knows who James Bond is, right? Yes? Yes? And I was talking to my Indian friend about it, who's from the US, naturalized from the US. He was born there and whatever. He's an Indian guy though. He's like, man, this is so racist. Like, how come like Idris Elba can be James Bond, but we never have an Indian James Bond? Why can't an Indian guy play James Bond? I was like, you know what? Why can't an Indian guy play James Bond? Here's why. First of all, if an Indian guy was playing James Bond, no one would believe that he's James Bond. Can you imagine? You know how smooth James Bond is, where he just goes up to a girl and goes like, the name's Bond. James Bond. If an Indian guy goes up to a girl, goes like, the name is Patel. Kumar Patel. Not the same effect. Not the same effect, it's crazy. It's like 007, more like Agent 711. It just won't work. Now the James Bond works for the MI5, and it's great. Like there's so many. The UK has MI5. America has a million of them. CIA, NSA, FBI. Am I missing something? Department of Justice. I don't know. Secret agencies. You know. You guys have FSB. That's Russians, by the way. Everyone's got something. Indians don't have a spy agency. Our spy agency are middle-aged women who gossip. That's where we get our information from. But it can't be. We can't have a super spy like James Bond. We can't, because You know how James Bond orders his drinks, right? I'll have a martini, shaken, not stirred. You know what Indian guy would do? He'd be like, cheapest item on the menu. I'll have a water. Tap, not bottled. I've been getting in touch a lot with my cultural roots lately. And the more I find out about my country, the more I'm like, this is so messed up. Seriously, I recently found out that, how many Americans here? Any Americans in the house? I think someone asked that before. Yes, you guys have Dr. Seuss, right? Fairy tales and stuff. Dr. Seuss and, you know, the Muppet Show and whatever. Russians have Kolobok and Ну погоди, Смешарики, all that stuff. Indians have one fairy tale. It's got one fairy tale. It's called Mahabharata, which translates into the Great War. So picture this. It's a war that is fought over 15 years by two different kingdoms in India. And 3-year-old kids are learning about this as fairy tales. It's like if somebody made a fairy tale about World War I and said, this is the Great War, tell all your children at night when they're about to sleep. Real smart, real smart. And they even made a cartoon about it. And Indian kids are watching this stuff every day. But, Mom, can you please put on the Great War where hundreds of people are getting killed every day? Put it on, yes, yes! And then they wonder why we're so messed up. It's like we never had a chance, people, we never had a chance. Speaking of cartoons and stuff, another thing that Indians don't have are superheroes. They just don't. There's Batman and Superman and the Flash and the Green Arrow and I don't know what the Russians have, Putin, whatever, you know, just superheroes. India only has one superhero. His name is Shaktiman, which translates into Power Man. However, he doesn't have an enemy, because how could Indians think up of any enemies? Our whole life is our enemy. Seriously, what could be worse? Poverty man, who's going to come and make you poorer. They can't think up of any enemies for this guy. And so all this guy does really is, he's on TV, and he tells children, this is a true story by the way, I used to watch this when I was a kid. He tells children to pay attention in school, be respectful to their parents, and stop making so much damn noise. My dad does that. Is my dad the superhero? I don't think so. You know, Rachel, I've been talking about India for so long. I'm so sorry. I forgot to ask. Has anyone been to India?
Yeah.
Yeah? Excellent. And you? Sri Lanka. That is not India. I mean, it was like 2,000 years ago, but you know, things were better then.
Do you have fairy tales?
Oh, for more fairy tales, please visit my website. Seriously. You went to Sri Lanka, so I won't talk to you anymore. Ma'am, you went to India?
Yeah.
Please tell me it wasn't Goa, because I swear to God.
No, it wasn't. It was New Delhi and Mumbai.
And Mumbai, fantastic. So did you drive in India? Did you take a taxi? Or?
Did I drive?
Yeah, did you drive?
No, I
Look,
didn't.
No,
It was too dangerous.
Exactly. You know, this lady gets it. This lady gets it. I'm going to tell you a true story about myself. I got my driving license when I was 21. And you know the feeling you get when you get your driving license, right? At a young age. You feel you're the coolest person ever. Like, yeah, I got a driving license. I'll have a car. I'm going to get women. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. And I was so excited. I passed my test first time. I gave the plashatka and the what's the other one called? Whatever, in the streets. I gave it all. It was fantastic. And I go to my dad, I'm like, Dad, I got my driving license. I'm the greatest! And he's like, son, you don't know how to drive until you've driven in India. And I was like, whatever, old man. You don't know us young people. I can drive anywhere. So I was in India a couple of years ago, and I decided, you know what, I'll prove my dad wrong. I'm going to drive in India. I'm not scared of anything. So I get my granddad's moped, scooter, sit down, start driving. 5 minutes later, I pull up to the side, and I swear to God, I'm going like this. I sort of go, driving in India, and I'm sure she'll agree with me, driving in India is like a combination between the Fast and the Furious and the Hunger Games. No one ever uses the brakes, and everyone's trying to kill you. I was driving, then I realized that I'm lost. I don't know how to get back home. And that's when I ran into another problem. Now, Russians have it great. You're in Moscow, you speak in Russian, everyone understands you. You're in Yekaterinburg, speaking Russian, everyone understands you. You're in St. Petersburg, Murmansk, Novosibirsk, Irkutsk, and other many cities whose names I don't know. Everyone speaks Russian. It's amazing. Such a big country, one language, simple. We have over 50 languages in India. It means that every 5 kilometers the language changes. And I'm not a genius, so I don't know all the languages. So I was stuck in a place where I don't know the languages, literally 5 minutes away from my granddad's house, where I do know the language. I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I started asking people, they don't know what I'm saying. I don't know, maybe I was speaking like Japanese or something to them. They were really confused. Finally, I found this homeless guy. I was like, homeless guy, tell me how to get home. He's like, I was like, let's try that again. He's like, you know what? He does this. I'm standing like this on the moped. He runs back and sits on my moped. I'm like, I guess we're going for a ride. Guess we're going for a ride. So we start driving and he's giving me directions. Turn left, turn right, go straight. In 5 minutes I get back home. It's amazing. I turn around to thank him and he just gets up and leaves. And that's when I realized I invented Uber in India. Thank you so much, guys. You've been amazing. Have a great show.
Arun, did you guys like Arun? Now, I like to travel. Who likes to travel? Everyone likes to travel. Not everyone, but it's like majority of people. When you travel to a new place, what kind of thing you would visit in a new city? What is interesting for you? Okay, but in the capital, what would you visit? Where would you go? A comedy show. I see you for the first time on our comedy show, sir. So, what else? Landmarks, museums, and so on. I like to go, this is quite, maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm the only one. I like to go to a zoo every time I go to a new city. Because they're different. I mean, the animals are they're not exactly the same. It's not the same lion they transport around, but they look the same. But the feel is different, and some animals are different, and so on. So, last summer, I was traveling with my girlfriend, and we were in Germany, and we went to the zoo. And we walked around like half of the day until we finally came to the part of the zoo, to the cage of koalas. Have you seen koalas? Yes? Cute little things, right? Do you have koalas in Moscow Zoo? I don't think so. I don't think they would survive the winter. But they had them in Germany. So, and the koala was super cute and like nice little guy, just very close to the cage. And my girlfriend wanted to pet the koala, wanted like to touch it, so she put her fingers through the cage. And at this point, the zookeeper sees us from the other part of the zoo and starts running towards us and shouting, "No!" Finally, he reaches us and goes, "No, no, 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 don't touch!" We're like, "What?" He's like, "Don't touch the koala!" We're like, "What? Why?" And he goes, "Did you know that 90% of koalas have syphilis?" And we go, no, we didn't know. And the guy goes, "Neither did I." I'm kidding, of course. I don't have a girlfriend. Come on. But the story is true. Like 90% of koalas have some kind of STD. Like I'm not sure, it's syphilis, chlamydia, something like this. One of the human diseases. And I was talking about this to my friend. And I was saying, like, in my mind, it's a very human thing to have, like, a sexual transmitted disease. Like, what happened there? Like, did we give it to them? Did they give it to us? How did this happen? And my friend goes, "Well, they're really cute." Speaking of koalas and things that are really cute, our next comedian is Russian, but he spent 5 years of his life living in Australia, becoming friends with all sorts of koalas, but only syphilis 10%, that is syphilis free. So please welcome your next comedian, Gleb Tugushev.
Hey guys, what's up? Hey, hello, hi. I'm Russian, he's right, and I grew up in Russia, in Moscow, And when I was a kid, we didn't have a lot of things, like many people my age in the 90s. I lived with my parents in the same room until I was 8. We only had one room in our apartment, right? And I would give anything to have my own room. I would give anything not to hear my mom at night going, "Yeah, Dima, do me like that! Do me like that! You're a sex machine, Dima!" And my father, his name's Alexander, he used to work at a cheese factory, night shifts. So, thanks. So as I said, I didn't have. Wait, let me get my structure out here so I don't get lost because we're really short on time. So I knew that my parents were not fit to raise children because they were too young when they got me. They were 23, and I know that because I'm 26 right now and I don't have children. I know that's too young. If someone gave me a kid 3 years ago, chances are his name would be 50 Cent. Even worse, 50 Cent Glebovich. There's nothing worse than that. And I knew that my parents kind of didn't want me because when I was 5 years old for my birthday, my dad got me a PlayStation 1. Oh, I'm sorry, I said it wrong. For my 5th birthday, my dad got himself a PlayStation 1. And I knew for sure because the first game we had in our house, the first game for PS1 was a flight simulator. When you fly a plane, when you get to learn how to fly a plane. I hate planes. I always hated planes. Even when I was a kid, he knew that all along. He got that game for himself. So next year, he said, "Gleb, I know you're upset about the game. I know you're upset about the flight simulator, right? But this year, me and your mom have decided to get a divorce. So the flight simulator wasn't that bad, right? I know it's sad, and even worse, it's true. But even worse, I made it into a joke. Bam! That's how I roll. So I don't want to get kids because kids are spoiled these days. I don't know what to give kids. What's a good gift for a child? Come on, about 10 years old. I had to give my cousin a gift. Yeah, Legos, bicycle. That's a pretty good gift, right? But kind of expensive. Skateboard? Yeah, pretty dangerous, but yeah, sure. So I had to give, but you know, the best gift, come on, where you got tennis?
Big tennis.
Big tennis. Have you seen kids these days? Sport? You serious? I'll demonstrate you, yeah, how it's done. Like, that's the kids these days. Tennis. They don't even know what tennis is. Kidding me? They're like, tennis, is this an app? Sorry, sir, you said iPhone, right? Not my budget. But still, like I had to give him a gift, and what's the best gift in the world? Money. That's right, money. I decided to give him money, but first I decided to give a call to his mother to ask her if it's all right. So I said, "Is it all right if I give Philip some money for his birthday?" And she said, "Absolutely not. It's financial freedom. He's gonna go out there and buy drugs." And I'm like, not with that kind of money I'm gonna give him. With the kind of money I'm about to give Philip, he can buy, he can go to the store, buy some paper, buy a pen, and draw some drugs. He can buy one ride on the metro to get somewhere where they sell drugs, but he's not gonna be able to buy drugs. So, in the end, I gave him, drugs. No, I gave him money. I gave him some money, and he went out and he bought drugs, right? So, for real. And I was furious. I called him up and I'm like, "Philip, I'm so angry at you. Tell me right now, where did you find such cheap drugs?" Tell me right now. It's just not impressive, right? Like the kids don't get impressed with things you give them. Whatever you give them these days, they're not happy. They're not satisfied because the toys that they get are very complicated. I had another cousin of mine. He turned 8 about a month ago. I took him to get some Legos. As you said, it's a good gift. So I went out and got some Legos with him. Bring it back. It's like 400 pieces or something. I'm like, who's gonna assemble that? Are we gonna call up like a Geneva scientist? Who's gonna do this? And he sits down and builds like a crazy space robot with like laser beams shooting out its eyes. I'm like, that's crazy. When I was about his age, my parents got me, not a PlayStation, they got me a chocolate egg with a toy inside. And I was so excited and I shook it and you open it up, bam, a dolphin, right? And you're so and one piece as well. No, you don't have to assemble it. It's got a hat, and you don't have to put it on. It's glued on to the dolphin's head. You can rip it off and like start putting it back on, but that's not how the toy works. So I went out with that cousin. He actually had his birthday on the same day that he had a martial arts competition. He was fighting Sistema, you know, Rukapashka. They call it Sistema. Just saying, like, I just found out recently. while translating the joke. Basically, a big competition when 10-year-old children beat the shit out of each other. Wonderful! It's great. I came there, I was as excited, all of their parents were there. 40 people just looking at their kids, clapping, being like, yes, so proud of you, child. And just little kids doing like this. So I'm watching my cousin, and the whole thing is just ridiculous because the people there, they know that you always win. If you bring your child to a fighting, does anyone have children who participate in fighting competitions? Good people, because you always win, right? If your child wins, you raised a winner. He's a winner. But if he loses, you get to come up and say, well, next time you eat your spinach, and you don't get beaten. About that time, I was standing right next to where the fight was happening, and there was a guy standing right next to me while my cousin was fighting some other child, and he was yelling at the other child, kick him in the shin! Kick him in the shin! Come on, kick him in the shin! And I'm like, you must be really proud of your son. He's like, it's not my son. Kick him in the shin! And I realized there were two options, right? Either that guy is an insane man that comes to those kind of competitions just to watch kids fight each other. Or that's his son, but he doesn't give him the right to call him his father until he wins a competition. That's how it is. I saw a lady at the airport. We were flying to Croatia last year to perform a show, and I saw a lady at the airport walking with her daughter that was crying. She was about, I don't know, like 3 years old, and she was just, ah! And she was yelling at the daughter. She was like, stop crying, or I will leave you here. I'm like, how's that gonna help? How's that gonna fix anything? Because in her mind, in the adult mind, she goes, oh, I'll just tell my daughter to stop it. I'll threaten her, and that's gonna fix everything. That's a 3-year-old child. She's not gonna go like, oh, I'm sorry, mother. This is just so inappropriate. You must be so embarrassed. I swear to God, I'll never do it again. Let's go. It's a child. In her mind, it's like, I don't want to grow up in an airport. And she just starts crying more and more. So after the tour last year, I decided to go to France because I started learning French because I'm good at English. Maybe like another language is what's in it for me. No, I can't speak another language. I can speak Russian really well. I can speak English. Tried French. Sounded like an idiot. Because I tried to learn it with an audiobook. When I walked around and I listened to it say, listen and repeat. Hello and welcome to Paris. Bonjour and bienvenue à Paris. So the first time I heard it, I'm Russian. I go, bonjour, and ah! But the tape is pre-recorded. It doesn't care. It goes, très magnifique. Excellent, you did a good job. Next unit. So I went there. I went to France to, for the same reason I do everything in my life, to impress a woman. I took her with me to Paris, and I wanted to impress her with my French. So we sat down at the restaurant. The waiter comes by, and he's like, oh, Madame, Monsieur, le menu, and whatever, right? So I grabbed the menu, and I'm like, oui, monsieur, oui. Would like an English menu, please. We would like an English menu. So I was flying there, Air Baltic Airlines. Does anyone know Air Baltic? Right? Cheapest airlines, right? Cheapest tickets. So cheap, they make you feel how cheap they are. Every second of the journey, you walk up, they're like, oh, economy class. And you're like, yes. And they're like, welcome on board, sir. Here's your water. Don't mind the dirt. Just drink it. Just drink it. It's better for your immune system. So I think I got to speed up so we finish on time. I also this year I want to travel again. This year I wanted to go to Mexico. I'm going in May. I'm going to travel around Mexico. And I started learning Spanish. Bad idea as well. Same thing with French. Bad idea. And my Spanish teacher, we had our first class last week, right? And I told him, what's Mexico famous for? What is it known for? Do you guys have any guesses? What's Mexico famous for?
Drugs.
Drugs. That's not the topic of the show, but it keeps arising. No, it's tequila, burritos, the food, right? All of that stuff. And I asked him what, Carlos, of course his name is Carlos, my teacher. I'm like, Carlos, what is Mexico famous for? And he's like, kidnappings. I'm like, what? He's like, a lot of people get kidnapped. I'm like, sweet, then teach me something useful. For example, a phrase, please do not kidnap me. And he's like, sorry, it's too complicated. I'm like, well, that's why people fucking get kidnapped all the time. Carlos, help me out here. What do I say to people who want to kidnap me? He's like, just tell them you're Russian. You're gonna be fine. Moving on. Come on. I try to work out all the time. I go to the gym, work out at the gym, and I have trouble motivating myself, right? There's trouble going to the gym, forcing myself to do stuff. And I realized that have you guys seen those movies when there's a guy who gets thrown in jail unjustly, he's framed, and he's working out there to get out and, you know, avenge his family and do stuff, right? There's someone framed him. He wants to kill the bad guy. So I thought, oh, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna pretend like I'm in prison. So I go to the gym every day now, and I sit down on the bench, and I think, once I'm gonna get out of this hole, I'm gonna kick his ass. I'm gonna kill him. He's gonna regret it. That's fine. I'm in prison. I'm in prison. Then I get up and go have sex in the shower. And I know it's a crass joke, but that's how it works. One more thing that I'm surprised with. I'm good on time. One more. So one thing I'm surprised with is how people work out these days. Like back in the day, the body standard, right? Like having abs, having big muscles, it was all about doing stuff, right? If you had muscles, it means you were running around, you know, gathering food, like killing animals and stuff like that. These days, it doesn't mean that. So I'm thinking, what if I ever met someone from ancient Greece? Say his name is Achilles, why not? And I just say, Achilles, how'd you get those big muscles? How do you work out on your back? And he's like, well, I killed 70 tigers in my life. That's how you get muscles back then. He's like, Gleb, how'd you get those muscles? And I know what you're thinking. This body doesn't need any workouts. It's perfect as it is. No limit to perfection, right? Striving to work. And he would say, Gleb, how'd you get those amazing muscles? And I would say, I didn't kill tigers, really, but there's a room that I go into twice a week, and I just lift up a thing and I go, ah! Ah! And he's like, is that it? I'm like, no, I also work on my left. Thank you guys so much. You've been awesome.
Gleb, how did you like Gleb? Before our final comedian, who is already ready to make you laugh hard, I have to say goodbye, because I'm not dying. Yeah, right now, like, yeah, at 8:30 I just die, so I have to say goodbye. Cristiano, myself, and Arun, we have to go do another show. So we're saying goodbye to you right now. Thank you so much for coming, from myself, and for laughing at our jokes. The show is not done yet. You still have your headliner to see, but just from the three of us, thank you so much for coming. I've been Igor Monday. You had Cristiano Righi from Italy and Arun Farana from India. And now, your final comedian of the evening, all the way from Chistopoli. Please welcome a very Russian, Denis Nikolin!
Thank you very much. Good evening, people. Good evening, people. Like before we start, okay, and then but I'll try to speak faster. Yeah, all right, okay, good. Yeah, people leaving, awesome. Headlining in American Center, like, yeah, this is the best stuff. First, they check your anus, and then people are leaving like. Just like, okay, maybe they want to check their anus again. I don't know. That's. All right, my name is Dennis, and before I start, just quick head count. We had people from different countries. We had people from Latvia, right? Over here. Hey, Latvian. Hey. So, you know, like I tried to learn Latvian. Okay, I tried to learn Latvian because Latvian women are hot, and I remember only two phrases. I still remember them. Very two useful phrases. First of them is tiešita, and the second one is labikata. And these two phrases you can use anytime in Latvia in any conversation. Basically, you're in a bar and you stand in a circle like of Latvians, you know, and they all speak Latvian, of course. And you're like, tiešita. You know, like they look at you like what do you think, but in Latvian, you know, like do you think? And you're like, labikata. It helped every time. So, I have some drawings on my hand. Jokes about neighbors. Yes, like Igor said that they're from Croatia and they joke about like a lot their neighbor countries. We're Russians, and we can joke about anyone because it's the biggest country in the world. But don't take me wrong. Like I hate stereotypes. Like really. Before I traveled abroad, like I really was kind of like that stereotypical like thinking about the foreigners. But since I've been working with foreigners for like 4 or 5 years now, I've abandoned my stereotypes. But I went to Prague last year and I was at an excursion. And we had an international group of people and we were going around the city. And a couple of Americans approached me, you know, a couple of Americans, like a wife and a husband, very like, you know, fat. They were fat. And they approached me and, you know, excuse me, are you from Russia? I'm like, yes. Could you ask you a question? I'm like, yeah, go ahead. How do you guys read? I beg your pardon? How do you guys read? From left to right or from right to left? And me being a comedian, I just said like from top to the bottom, man. Like, just from top to the bottom. Because like, I mean, how ignorant one can be. I mean, I understand everything, but Russia, like, I mean, you can come to geography class and spin the globe, drop your finger, 50-50 is going to be Russia. Come on, like, or Pacific Ocean, it's all right. So, I'm Russian, I'm 27 and I'm Russian, I was born here, raised here, and I guess I'm gonna die here. Because I don't picture myself dying someplace nice, I think I'm gonna die in here, like, right? Probably today, in American Center, because I'm going to be shot. Somebody's gonna shoot me after these jokes. But no, seriously. But the thing is, I'm a very bad Russian. I have to confess, I'm a very bad Russian because, like, first of all, I speak English well. I can tell people how to get around in Moscow. You know, I can, like, if somebody asks me, like, could you please tell us where Kremlin is? I'm like, of course, please, it's over there, you know? And some Russians, like, you know, with huge bags, you know, looking at me like, oh, he knows where to go, you know, we should ask him. They come to me, hey, слышь, I'm like, you know, foreigners, I have to speak to you, you know? Second of all, I don't travel to, you know, to Sochi or Crimea for vacation. You know, that's, yeah, also not Turkey, never been there. You know, and I really don't understand like why people go there. I mean, right now I understand. Before that I didn't, but right now I understand because people are like, why don't you want to go there? It's cheap. First of all, it's not cheap. Their second argument is like, but why would you want to go somewhere else? Like, it's Russian people there. You know, it's Russian territory. And I'm like, guys, I live in Moscow. It's 18 million people here. Like every day, you know. Even on Sunday afternoon in metro, you can find like it's full, it's full. And like I don't want to see any Russian faces. I'm sorry. And now I realize that most of the people who come to Moscow and they go to Sochi and Crimea, they're not from Moscow. They're from the rest of the country. And if you, for the foreigners who don't know what Russia is, it's basically like St. Petersburg, Moscow, Vladivostok. And there is like a huge space, like, okay, so for example, like Ekaterinburg, like right in between of, right in the middle of Russia. And before that, it's just like hundreds of kilometers of nothing. I mean, really nothing. I mean, when I hear news about people getting caught after they robbed a bank or they killed somebody, I really don't understand why. Either they're not really smart, or they wanted to be caught. Because really, if you wanna rob a bank, just change your car and go somewhere like to Russia, because there's like hundreds of kilometers of nothing. You can go to any forest, like prepare, you know, dig a bunker, you know, like for 2 months, like provide internet there, you know, like, I don't know, put some signs like radioactive, you know, like radioactive, you know, radioactive, like on 100 kilometers square meters, you know, just, and nobody would give a shit. Seriously, and after you rob a bank, you just change your car and drive there. And I don't know, live there for 6 months, you know, change your haircut, you know, like, do a makeup, and nobody would recognize you or even find you there. Probably, like, I don't know, it's, there should be some sort of mobile application or phone application, like there's Tinder, and it'll be like, I don't know, grave digging, you know, graving, hider. Basically, not Tinder, but hider, where you can find your associates to go somewhere in the middle of Russia and dig a bunker, you know, or hide a body, because it's really easy. So yeah, I'm a really bad Russian in that way. But the worst thing is that I've recently quit drinking, and you see, like, people don't really understand why, because you see, for 2 years I've been working in a bar, and it's really hard to quit drinking when you're in a bar, but I tried, and now I quit drinking, and every time, like, I go in the morning on Saturday, you know, to the metro, you know, I'm not drinking, I'm just going there like this, you know, but the rest of the horde, it senses that I don't drink, you know. Everybody else just walking there, water, McDonald's, you know, 5:30 in the morning, and then it's just like, and then just like in the movie, like, he's not drinking. So now when I leave a house, I always take a little bottle of vodka with me, you know, just like a deodorant. So when I leave the house, I do this, like. Just so they would think I'm one of their kind, you know, basically. Yeah, I'm a bad Russian. I also found out that why I'm also a bad Russian, because I'm 100% Russian. And I found out that it's bad because most of the Russian, they're not 100% Russians. And like a couple of days ago, I attended a language exchange meeting. You know what it is? Have you ever been to a language exchange meeting? No? Yeah, okay, well, don't get me wrong. I lost a bet. So, she got it. And I joined the table and we started talking like with people, and there were a lot of course, girls. And we started talking, and everybody was saying like, my name is, like, I don't know, Tanya, I'm from there, but I'm Russian, but, like, I'm quarter Uzbek. I'm like, all right, okay, fine. Like, my name is Masha, and I'm like third Tajik. I'm like, wow, this is great. And my name is Dennis, I'm 100% Russian. And they're like, get out of here. This is not a place for pure bloods. Like, we're half-breeds, we're proud. Like, didn't your ancestors like have anything special about them? Any special powers, you know? Like, my grandfather lost an arm. Like, not in the war, he didn't fight in the war. He was just drunk and he lost it. It doesn't count, like, you know. But it's not completely true. Like, I also found out, like, because I became curious, and I started digging and I asked my parents about my ancestry, and actually I found out that my great-grandmother, she was Georgian. She was Georgian, yes. But I cannot go around the city and brag about it because she was born in prison. So if I come to a bar and, you know, like, ask somebody, like, try to meet a girl and start a conversation and start talking, and she's like, you know, I have a Georgian ancestry. I'm like, me too, you know, like, I'm also like a bit Georgian. But don't say anything, don't say anything, don't say 1, 2, 3, on 1, 2, 3, on 1, 2, 3. Okay, my great-grandmother, she was born in prison in Turkmenistan because her parents were arrested for terroristical acts against the imperial government. Jinx. No, of course not. Of course not. As I said, there's a lot of Russians in Moscow, and when I go someplace else, I don't expect Russians there. Like, I always like to go somewhere. Like, for example, last year I traveled to Albania in February, and I didn't expect anyone to be there. Like, it's February, Albania, and then I land, and at the airport, I see this person. Like, white shirt, Russia, photo of Putin, shorts, you know, and sandals, and socks, like this. And I'm like, damn it, he's got the same socks as I do. And when I travel abroad, like, I don't really like telling people that I'm Russian. Not because I'm not proud, I'm just a little bit of ashamed of my associates, I'd say, fellow citizens doing crazy shit when they're drunk. That's the only reason. But if they find out that I'm Russian, I'm always saying like, no, I'm not that kind of Russian. I don't jump out of the 3rd floor right into the pool. Like, I'm not like a. So I always say that I'm from Eastern Europe. Once I was acknowledged as an Eastern European, and everybody's like, so you're from Eastern Europe? In Germany, I lived in Germany, and they were asking, you're from Eastern Europe? I'm like, yeah, I'm from Eastern Europe. Where? I'm like, no, you don't know. Come on, you don't know. No, please tell us. And let me tell you about this. Nobody in Europe knows anything about Europe. Like really, like, and Eastern Europe, how many countries is there in European Union?
20.
Maybe, I don't, maybe you just made it up, I don't know. But in Germany, they don't really know. So I'm like, no, you don't know that country. No, come on, what Eastern European country? I'm like, Latvia. And they're like, for the first time we meet a Latvian. Great that they allowed you visas, finally, to Europe. We're with your opposition. I'm like, sure, of course, do you know a country like Zakovia, maybe, you know? This is made-up country from Marvel Comics. All right, thank you very much, guys. That's been all from me. Everyone else has left, except for Gleb. Also give it up for Gleb. We're the only two Russians left with you. So thank you very much for coming today. Thank you very much, American Center, for providing us with such opportunity. Did you enjoy the show?